Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Today I'm making another potato poppy rolls, and I'm going to use these as hamburger rolls because we're having hamburgers today, and I just thought it'd be nice. So we're going to be changing this recipe just a bit into what I want it to be this time. Okay, we are going to need, how do they want me to do this? We need 1/3 cup of potato water. I already cooked a potato, so I have potato water from it. And we need 1/3 of a cup of potato water. And believe you me, the yeast will love it. They love potato water. And we are going to, if you have packages of yeast, you're going to use 1 package. If you're not, you buy by the jar, you need 2 1/4, I think. Yeah, 2 1/4 teaspoons of just regular yeast. No, not that one. This one. Now they say to put this aside and let it activate. It'll bubble up and stuff, but I'm not going to do that. I never do, okay? I'm going to put in a cup of mashed potatoes. I have the peelings on mine, and this is how I use my potatoes. There's a very few recipes that I don't leave the peelings on my potatoes, but I do scrub them, so we're going to drop that in with the yeast. If you have an active yeast, you don't have to worry. If it's old, you have to wait for it to activate because you don't know if it is, but because my yeast are always so fresh because I do so much baking and I do use a lot of yeast, I don't have to worry. You're going to need 3 tablespoons of sugar. And these are excellent. These rolls are so good for hamburgers. That is not the sugar. You're going to need 2/3 of a cup of sour cream. I love these. These are so good. Okay. So after all that heat, I'm sure everybody's already had their hamburgers, but I'm doing mine now so we can get this done. No, it was just too hot to bake. I did every shortcut I could come up with so I didn't have to cook in this heat. But it's so nice now. The weather's nice to sleep in. Get up early in the morning, oh, the breeze, and you hear the birds coming alive is so nice. Where did I put this? Okay, we need 1/4 of a cup of butter, melted and cooled, which I have right here, already melted it. We need 2 teaspoons of salt. If you're on medication and you say, I don't take a lot of salt, but they put me on diuretics, it is because a lot of the food already has salt in it. If your wife or you don't sit there and cook from scratch, that's how it works. You need 2 large eggs in this too. As you can see, I'm putting everything right in here. That's all I'm doing, is just cracking everything into it. I am not going to need these for now. Now you have everything in here except the flour, and we'll get that in. That's everything you need. I'm going to mix this up. So if you have a yeast and you question if it's active or not, put it in and just let it sit. But the potato water, I know they love potato water. And since I had to cook a potato, I said, well, I'm not going to waste any of it. I'm going to go ahead and use it. Okay, now we're going to need 4 to 4.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I don't need my glasses, I know what I'm doing now. Now I'm not going to be adding wheat germ or yeast into these because I'm going to add wheat germ into the hamburgers. So I'm just going to make them this way. But if you're just using them for rolls, you can add a tablespoon of wheat germ into it. It'll be just fine. And you know, for people with arthritis, why don't they sit there and do stem cells and try to get them to grow gristle onto a bone, stabilize that joint, and give it time to grow? And then a person wouldn't have arthritis anymore. But I guess with all the medication, everything, it'd be defeatist anyway because it destroys the joints. So, but it was a thought. You're going to make a bed to put your dough in. I always make a bed. And that it sticks to the counter right away, even if you haven't finished working the flour all in. See, some of the kneading has already been done because I beat it with a spoon. It'd be just like doing it in a mixer. But of all the rolls, I have hamburger rolls and stuff. But I love these rolls to make hamburgers with. It is so nice. The texture is just beautiful. I've never had any complaints when I use this. So when we are done kneading this, we will sit there and wash the bowl out that it was mixed in. You're going to add some oil or shortening or whatever you have to grease it. And you're going to put the dough in there for your bread, and then you're going to sit there and flip it, and we will get it ready to go. This is almost done. This act is called kneading. It's a quarter turn, fold over, push in and push back. And you just put your flour underneath it. And that's what you do. Put your palms on and push it. And it will absorb all this flour. And when it's smooth and elastic, I'll show you what smooth and elastic. And I don't want you to go through what I went through. I used 5 pounds to make 2 loaves of French bread. Oh my God, what I did. And you go back and use the breads of yesterday. When I start making those, you'll just see how heavy those breads are. When people ate them, they had a meal. And what they put in it, they put everything. I mean, they put a lot of stuff in it. Now, if you don't want to leave your peelings on, you can take them off if you wish. But I like them all. I like to just scrub the peelings and do it because the peelings are high in iron and things that you need for your gray hair to keep your hair color so it doesn't gray as much. This is pretty tacky. I'm gonna need some more flour. See, it's a little too tacky, but it's getting very close to where it has to be. And I tell you, if you're angry with somebody, this is a great way of working out your frustrations. Because the harder you push and press on this bread and punch it, believe you me, it just grows lighter. And I saw my mother when my father got her mad after she tore the phone off the wall. That's where we had our phones, in the kitchen. The telephone man, my father would have to call the telephone man to go back and fix the phone. My mother would make bread and she could beat it and get her frustrations out. I didn't get mad at my husband. He was really good. He was a good man. He cared very, very much for his family. Yeah, this feels better now. Smooth and elastic. That's what they want it to look like. Let me get my bowl clean. I have to get a towel. I forgot I took all the towels out. Oh my God. All right, you're gonna put some oil in this bowl after you dry it. corn, like I told you, I use corn oil on this. I use something else. You can use shortening or whatever oil you have. You'll put it down, coat the top, flip it over, make sure it's coated. And what you're going to do is put 2 towels over it, put it in a warm place, let it double, and then we'll shape the rolls. Okay, rolls have ridden this, and I will show you. As you can see, it's way up there. Punch it down. Put some flour into your working area, wherever it's at. We're going to knead this a bit, and then we are going to make a rope in it, and we're going to cut it into 12 pieces. Grease a 9 by 13. You're going to knead it. Now, this is a very soft dough, and you're going to notice it's going to be rising very quickly. Potato water does this with your yeast. If you have one that's not dead, it just takes off all the time. Now, I am going to bring it to your attention that a lot of us, my age and around my age, some recipes, we sit there and we make them almost identical because these are recipes our parents had picked up and had used. So, if you say, I saw somebody do this, that's because both of the parents pretty much probably collected the recipe and made it part of their repertoire in the kitchen, and then you end up with this cross-reference all the time. It happens a lot, and people don't know that. Because I know some of my girlfriends, they said, that's how my mother did chicken, or that's how my mother did steak. That's because at that time frame, that's what they did. Just in case I need more flour, I'm bringing it over. I'd rather be safe than sorry. And I know how tacky this can be. Now, we're going to roll this into a rope. That's what they say, to roll it into a rope. I don't want to roll it into a rope. I want to quarter this thing. So I get my cutter and do it. As I know, we're going to be making 12 rolls. And so if I make a ball, I can cut it so each one has to be 6 pieces. So we'll cut it in half. Now we have to cut it in thirds. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we have 6 rolls. And the other half will be the other 6. Now you're going to make a ball, and that's literally what we're doing. It'll be 3 by 4 and a 13, 13 by 9. So that means we get all 12 in. I'm not kidding. These make some of the best hamburger rolls. I can't believe how good these things are. They are just delicious. And as you're handling it, you're going to feel the yeast growing. Potato water is excellent. They love potato water. And as fast as I put them in, they're growing. I mean, they're not even waiting for me. All right, now we have another half. I'm going to make another 6. And see, I told you, it's growing. It's not even slowing down. So we have a hole. Here comes the math again. We're going to make it in a half. And we're going to take each half and make it into a third. So we'll have 6. Now, I do not get my rolls the same size, so don't say anything. But see how fast they're growing? I tell you, it does, this is one that is really a good one. I like these rolls as hamburgers more than the hamburger roll recipes I have. Though that cheese one was very, very nice. One son is heading out to work. He says, "Mommy, I'm not going to be able to eat it. Can you sit there and put a hamburger aside for tomorrow?" I said, "Sure, I can." I won't put anything on his hamburger, though. Put chicken in my finger so I can pinch you together. Even while I'm handling it, they're just growing. So you can see, you have a hole, make it in a half, and then you make thirds out of the half, and that's how you make 1/6. Instead of making a roll, I just decided to do it that way. And it teaches fractions. Hey, there's a lot of math that goes into this, and ratios, into cooking. And then new math they're teaching the children, they can't figure it out. That's because they have this world government. You know, last time they had one government, you know what God did? He demolished it. So I think it's pretty stupid, because the whole thing is that mind your business in your home and don't worry about what's going on in other countries. Stay on your side of the fence and we wouldn't have these problems. But there's always some idiot that wants to rule the world. I'm going to show you how fast these rolls are growing, because you're not going to believe it. So if every country stayed in its boundaries and quit going to other countries, I don't think we would have a problem. We could all live in peace in the world. You don't need a one world government. What you need is for people who want to invade another country and they come up with excuses. Just leave it alone. Leave them alone. Leave the countries alone. You don't need to rule the world. You're not God. And if you're jealous or something of somebody, another country, look, it's their country. They're doing their thing. You're doing yours, you know? This is my philosophy, even with neighbors. Stay on your side. You're doing what you're going to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm not bothering you, so don't bother me. I want to show you how fast these things are growing. Just look at them. They are growing very fast. So let me see what I have to do next and I'll be back. Okay, you're going to need 2 tablespoons of butter melted and black pepper. We're going to melt this butter. Be back. Okay, my butter's melted. Look how fast these things are rising. They're touching. I didn't have them like that when I started. Now you're going to brush them with this butter. You don't have to brush hard to get them to do what you want them to do. I had some old recipes that said throw the bread on the counter hard and everything else, but I lost all those cookbooks. People are so quick to take your books. You know, and you could buy them, you know. And the beautiful part about having a lot of cookbooks is you can cross the recipes instead of making the exact recipe. Like I have these rolls come out of one cookbook, but I'm going to sit there and make hamburgers which come out another cookbook. So then I end up with a unique recipe and meal. Now you don't go there. We are putting black pepper all over these. Now just think about it. We've got butter in here, we have potatoes, we have sour cream. Now tell me, does that, it sounds like we're going to have baked potatoes. You see how it works? So you have salt and pepper, and you have the potatoes, you have the sour cream. Tell me that doesn't sound like a baked potato. So you have to put black pepper on them. Anyway, these have to rise now, and then we will be putting them in the oven, and I'll see you then. Okay, you're going to set your oven to 375, and we are going to bake these for 20 minutes. They rise very quickly, so be aware of that. And we'll transfer them. Well, when they come out, I'll show you then. So they're going to bake for 20 minutes at 375. Okay, they're done. Like I said, these make beautiful rolls. Especially when you use potato water instead of water. I'm going to show you. I'll lift them up and you can just see how high they are. There they are. I wasn't kidding. Listen, enjoy the day and enjoy the weather. Bye-bye.